When your penis is burning and itching, that's a gonorrhea. When you have a discharge from your penis, that's a gonorrhea.
Yes, yes, indeed. We are back again with another episode of what is this one? Prolix Comics Bollix.
VD as feck.
VDS Fact. That's the one. What was that in aid of, Clive? Other
I don't know
than
what you're talking about.
okay, all right, perfect. So we are talking.
I may have been hacked.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
I see. Um, so, well, this is all done with AI now, anyway, right? I mean, we haven't been doing the show for the last year. It's
No,
entirely.
we've just been using the prompt. A couple of twats talking about this, and then
Hmm, that's it.
here we
Yep.
go. Yeah.
Um, so, so what we're talking about this time is something that's brand new to me. I have never read.
Gonorrhea.
Yes, that's it.
It's my first time getting it.
Yes, yeah.
It's a roller coaster ride of
Hmm.
emotions.
It's yeah, brings a tear to your eye, Clive.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes.
but yeah, so we're talking Dylan Dog. Dylan
Oh,
Dog.
my mistake. Sorry.
Hmm.
Luckily, I've happened to have read these comics as well. So,
Excellent.
yeah,
Excellent.
excellent. I can pivot.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. I mean, if we can save some time at the end, if you want to come back to a discussion of various ways one's knob can seep,
Mm.
or bubble or wart, for example. Fucking genital warts is a particularly disturbing one. You ever seen photographs? Don't, don't Google that. Um, anyway,
That's a
so
shame. For the next edition of Comics Prolix,
oh shit.
I've chosen Genital Warts, the graphic novel.
Perfect. It's probably by that guy who does Suhiro Maro, right? It's that, and then people licking other people's eyeballs. Um, anyhow, Dylan Dog, Italian horror comic series created by, I'm going to say his name definitely wrong, Tiziano Sclavi, and published by Sergio Bonelli Editore since 1986. All about a paranormal investigator who takes on cases involving sort of supernatural elements and stuff. Um, the look of Dylan Dog is based on Rupert Everett's performance in, is it Another Country? Is that the film with
Yes, a film I've
Colin
not
Firth?
seen, but
Me neither. But apparently he's in it, and so is Colin Firth. Um,
mm,
anyway, and so it really is clear when you're reading the comics that there's no question that Rupert Everett was the visual model, which is why it gets strange then when we get to Cemetery Man a little bit later on, and we talk about
mm.
that. But but one thing, I did you notice how many other celebrities make appearances in this comic? I think I have a kind of a my antenna are always up because as somebody who has drawn comics, it's much easier to stay consistent panel to panel if you have a really clear model, right? So rather than just trying to like invent a person and then try to draw them each time, either
Right.
you need to photograph somebody multiple times, or you pick a celebrity that you can simply pause a movie and get different shots of their face, right? Um, but I counted several. I mean, the obvious one is Groucho Marx, right?
Well, you
Who
say the
hilariously
obvious
they
one
have
is
painted his mustache out all the way through the
yeah.
fucking book.
So originally his sidekick is this annoying wisecracking guy called Groucho, who is Groucho himself. And then when Dark Horse put out the
Mhm.
collection, which we read, yeah, they whited out the mustache and renamed him Felix. Now,
Which is
you
great.
happened to mention in advance to me about this. But I have to admit, I'd forgotten that you told me that.
Okay.
And then yeah, okay. But to be honest, if you hadn't mentioned, I think they might have got away with it for me at least
You wouldn't have noticed that it was Groucho.
because I don't think of obviously Groucho Marx is a constantly wisecracking and kind of deliberately irritating
Yes.
presence. But somehow yeah, I don't think of Groucho like the sidekicks of Felix could have just been Felix. I may not have made the connection with
Okay.
Groucho Marx.
With
Yeah.
Groucho Marx. Right. Um, but did so what this that so the whole Groucho thing, and yeah, it is. I mean, he is consistently annoying throughout the entire
Mm.
seven or whatever volumes. So the actual comic has been it's up to I don't know what it is now. Oh, it's up to 445 issues apparently as of now. It's been running
Wow.
consistently monthly since 1986. Each issue is close to 100 pages long. So that collection that we read was 7 issues of 445.
Wow, is that right? I didn't realize
Yes,
what such a small sample, because the thing is, it gets meta
very
very
quickly.
quickly.
Yes, it
So I,
does.
God knows what it's like now. Has it been consistently translated as well, or
No, no, that's all
okay,
we got those 7 issues that Dark Horse did back when they put them out. And then
and
apparently
were they
another
all drawn by Stano as well, right?
no,
Those,
no.
oh, but
I think only two issues are actually drawn by Stano. The rest
really,
are
but he
original.
really sets the tone, though, doesn't
He
he?
does. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. And it's clear that everyone knows that you just need to draw Rupert Everett, so everyone's going to the same model. So Dylan Dog is very consistent looking from
I
artist.
really like the artwork as well.
It's fucking fantastic. I mean,
Yeah,
it might be the standout feature of the entire thing. It might just be the drawing. It's so,
yeah,
so confident.
yeah, yeah.
His is, I mean, Stano's work is heavily inspired by Egon Schiele.
Ah,
Um,
right, that makes sense.
okay, Clive, I'm impressed. Um, Clive's left for whatever reason. He was, oh, okay. Um, you're a fan of Egon Schiele?
I am.
Okay.
I don't know much about him. I'm very I'm classic. I don't know art, but I know what I
Gonna
like.
like, yes.
But I do like the works of Egon Schiele, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's that kind of uh
It's like a spider's a really artistic spider's crawled out of
yes.
an inkwell and just
Yes.
walked over
Yes.
a page or something. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, he is part of, I think, of a broader kind of German expressionistic kind of
Right.
thing, so he's not totally, but yeah.
And there's that
Anyway,
Beardsley guy as well, a little bit in that,
yes. Yeah,
which we
there's
talked when we talked Guido Crepax, right?
yeah, and he also came up because in there was a couple of pages cribbed from Beardsley in the MW or Moo
Right,
manga.
right.
Um,
And not a million miles from some of the stuff in the Cortez books as well,
no,
a
you're
little
right.
bit.
Hugo Pratt for
Yeah,
sure
yeah.
has some of
I think
that.
we both, and obviously, it also does find space somewhere in the works of Kevin O'Neill as well, right? So obviously, we are
Yes.
both fans of this kind of,
Yep.
I don't know what you'd call it, like weirdly, like, I don't know,
Slightly angular
crooked kind of,
expressionistic thing.
yeah,
Yes. Oh
yeah,
yeah. Um, so I noticed right away in the very first story, right? So I don't. It always takes a second for this to kind of come in, but you'll see that is Rupert Everett there playing Dylan
yes.
Dog, but that's Sigourney Weaver, consistently throughout this
Is
first story.
it?
I'm 99% sure she's the
Ah,
model
okay.
for that character.
I would not have picked up on that.
um yeah, kind of Sigourney Weaver looking like she looks in what the hell is it? Uh Ghostbusters more than I would say
Oh,
Alien.
I'd totally forgotten that Sigourney Weaver was in Ghostbusters.
No, I'm yeah, I mean I'm swearing that is
She does have the same expression there.
yes. um But then later on in the same story, this I guess Dylan Dog's main villain, whose name is like something that starts with an X. Oh, this is also interesting too. Um, there's there's whole segments of Dawn of the Dead that are
Yeah,
like redrawn in this, which
yeah.
is kind of fun. Um, but then yeah, I guess like, his recurring villain is this guy called like Zabarus or it's something with an X anyway.
Right.
Um, who apparently so this it turns out that I guess if you read the whole 446 episodes of this, there is a kind of slowly unfurling mystery about Dylan Dog, who he really is, who his parents are, um, and it gets apparently it's very much darker,
I
supposedly,
mean,
as it goes.
if it was available in a language I understood, I think I would. If I paced myself, I could kind of see myself reading more Dylan Dog.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I invited Umberto Eco to come on to be with us
Aha!
today. But
Is he waiting in the wings? Is he about to just come
apparently he
in?
died in 2016.
Ah,
But Umberto Eco rather famously, yeah, said he was a huge Dylan Dog fan.
mm.
Uh, and apparently, not apparently, there's a whole bunch of the Italian kind of intelligentsia were all uh, big fans of Dylan Dog.
I
And
also
suppose
I have to admit I really did think Umberto Eco was still alive.
no, sadly not. Um, but I want to find there's another panel in that. Yeah, when that professor, whatever his name is, it's it's important only because yeah, here we go. Um, that's Udo.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I wouldn't have noticed that, I don't think, but now that you mention it,
That's totally fucking Udo, right? Like, no question. And
it's definitely Udo's stare.
yes, yeah, but it's also like it's his nose, it's his eye. Yeah, there's
Right. Well,
another.
like you said, I think maybe because you've gone through that process yourself, you recognize it. Whereas for me, I don't draw. So
Right.
yes,
You know what I mean? You're
that
not
this is
looking
somewhat of
for.
a revelation to me. Now that you pointed out, I don't know about Sigoni, but I trust you that you're right because you'd be looking for you'd be looking for points of physiognomy that you would use, right? And I
Yes,
wouldn't. So I would definitely defer to you on this.
but the most obvious one for me is, and so telling me that you didn't notice this, um, Christopher Lambert appears all the way through the entire last story.
Right, yeah. But again, only now that you mention it, yeah.
Um, yeah, so but again, just appreciating the fact that like no
Well,
matter
that's
who's doing art,
it's worth mentioning that you brought that up and we did briefly mention the meta
yes,
elements as well. So that combined, like if I was hearing someone else talk about this, like you were saying, oh, there's direct steals from Dawn of the Dead and these people based on people, and then it gets meta very quick. I would be thinking to myself,
fuck
I'm
this.
gonna hate this fucking comic. This
Yes,
sounds
yeah,
horrible. This sounds
yeah.
just like
In fairness to the Dawn of the
wanky.
Dead, they're actually watching Dawn of the Dead. It's not
Yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah.
but yes,
This sounds like wanky fanboy
mm,
drivel.
right.
However, you
It's
would be
not.
quite wrong because
Mhm.
somehow, whereas all of that is true, it is definitely picking, this and that, and it is
Yeah.
very, very meta and postmodern.
Yes.
But it's still, I mean, it's sometimes just on the edge of tipping over
Yep.
into
Yep.
being
Yep.
irritating in that way,
Yep.
but it never quite does. Now, how they pull back from that, the trick of how they get away with it, I'm not quite sure. I don't know what it is,
I have a
but it
theory, maybe.
works. Yeah, go for it.
I think that it's always true to its pulpy nature. I think there's always tits and ass. There's always an axe murderer or some kind of proper horrific
Yeah, there's some
element.
good go in there.
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely see the Argento, the Giallo, the Giallo stuff is really clear. Although it's funny,
Right.
it's not set in Italy. It's all set in England.
In
And
London, yeah.
she
Yeah.
works for Scotland Yard. Um, but but
I
yeah,
don't,
I think
he's an odd character as well, because I still don't really quite know, like other similar characters, I know exactly what they do. Like I get Kolchak. I know what
yeah,
Kolchak
yeah,
does,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
I'm still not quite sure what Dylan
No,
Dog is exactly.
no, no. Um, yeah. No, I found this like there's so the first story was fun. It's all about zombies. I
Yeah.
think the second story is the one that I maybe for me was one of the standouts. It's the one about the kid who's being used as like for organ harvesting, like
Yes.
like the freak kid, and it's very EC comics kind
Yeah.
of
And to your point about Argento as well, some of them as well even just go like I couldn't tell you what the story actually is by the end,
yeah.
but
Oh
it doesn't
yes.
matter because it
No.
just trades on the imagery.
It's
By
com
by
yeah.
the time it gets to that really meta one where you actually see someone drawing the story as it
Yes.
goes, and you've got the woman who may or may not be a zombie, that
Yes.
like
Believe it or not,
on
that's only issue
like if you wrote
25.
if huh?
That's issue 25 of
Jesus. If you
445.
wrote the synopsis of that out, that would absolutely sound like something that would test my patience, and I
Yeah.
have no, but it totally works.
No, it's the dreamlike apocalyptic nature of that
Yeah,
story.
yeah,
Um,
it's
there's two of them
fantastic.
that are, or three of them really that really lean into the kind of oniric dream like. There's the one where he's just trying to get home the entire
Yeah,
story.
yeah, yeah.
That has
Well,
that really
I wrote down
chronological
actually
split
that
screen.
reminded me of that was almost like Dylan Dog does After Hours.
Hmm. Yes, I was reading a review and somebody else said that that was clearly of the main influence on that story. But it works really well. Um, and then there's one that's more of like it's almost like a straight up like Halloween, kind of rip off. It's the one,
Yes,
right?
yes, yes.
Although there is a bit of a twist at the end. But the whole opening segment of that, where the blind girl's wandering around the house with all the murdered people, is really good comics.
Yeah, there's
Like,
another one as well, which is like starts off as like Tarkovsky's Stalker and then like turns into the time machine with
yes,
Morlocks and things. And again, you mention all this and it just sounds like it sounds so tiresomely meta, but it's some I don't know, maybe the later issues maybe do fall prey to that. I don't know.
I have
But
read that there's a bit of a law of diminishing returns after the original writer Sclavi. He does kind of retire, or he becomes like semi regular on
right.
the book, and other people weren't able to really keep up the
Yeah, I mean there
momentum.
may be a reason that it all hasn't been translated, right? Then
Right.
we might be getting the cream of the crop here. But I'd certainly be interested to find out. I would be interested to read more if someone were to maybe
I'd love
cherry
to do
pick
the
some
first
of the best.
50 if or
Yeah.
somebody could just start at the beginning and just go because
So how many issues did you say we've probably read then?
we've read 7 of 445.
No, 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 but because you were saying it was issue like 25 or something. So you're
Oh,
talking volumes, right? So comic
no.
issues.
No, no, comic. So each comic is 100 pages.
So that wasn't issue 25 when you said it was issue
So
5.
no, because this Dylan Dog collection is not like the first. It's a selection
Ah, okay,
from the
okay,
first
okay,
100 or so
okay.
issues, I believe.
Right.
So there's
I
two
thought it was
big.
the complete up until that point.
No, not at
Oh,
all. No,
so
no.
maybe possibly even in these early days there might be some lesser.
Maybe, or they're all really good and they just decided they didn't want to give you too much of the same thing. Maybe, right? They wanted to pick things that were. Who
Hmm.
knows what the editor's choice was? But I would be really interested in seeing
I
more.
wonder is I've never really looked beyond the world of Japanese comics when it comes to illegal scanlations, but
Animations.
I'm wondering
Yeah,
is someone done.
I've dug in a little bit, but I haven't seen much yet. So
Because you'd
yeah.
think this would probably be at the top of the pile in a way, just because it's something that we do know that is visible to English speaking audiences, but
Hmm.
just isn't anywhere near complete. You'd think this would probably be one of the first things the scanlators would get to, right? But I suppose the world of Italian comics doesn't quite have the rabid fan base that
Unless
of
unless
manga
unless they
fanatics.
got Druna's ass in them.
Yeah, well, that's understandable. But you don't need translation to enjoy those.
No, you really don't.
No, no.
Um, but I was reading. Yeah, this is interesting. So if you're this is from the Dylan Dog Case Files review from BigShinyRobot.com. And it says here, if you're still not convinced, how about this? Dylan Dog is a comic book that in its native Italy is known to sell over 1 million copies per month. In comparison, the top American comic of September 2009, Blackest Night 3, sold 140,000. Which basically like the US comics have never really bounced back in terms of market share since kind of the 60s. It's been in
Right,
a
right.
steady state of decline. But Japan and Italy still have like adults, I think, just still read
Yeah,
comics there, which
yeah,
is why.
yeah.
Um, or maybe the problem actually is in America, only adults read comics and only a very narrow selection of adults read comics. I don't think kids are buying comics anymore. I think they're too expensive, and I think there's too much. continuity and bullshit that you have to wade into if you want to. You can't read an issue of Batman now because like you don't know what the fuck's going on because you haven't read the last 50 years of Batman. Everything is so up its own ass in terms of this continuity wank stuff um, that they kind of I think they've made it impenetrable for younger kids,
Right.
which
Right.
is kind of stupid. But anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Well, also
So
it's just I I'm not immersed enough to get it, I suppose, but I just don't understand why, like a really, really long time ago, people just stopped writing Batman, Superman, etc. comics and wrote something else. All of the characters. I don't get the obsession. I understand it from the a little bit from the comic artist point of view. You get that, people like you going back to the brain drain of oh, you get a chance to draw.
yes,
I
yeah,
kind of get that to a certain extent, but why why we keep going back? Like I don't understand what the obsession would just let it fucking go and because you can just write something that's a copy,
yes,
Arachnid Man. Let's just do that.
right.
That's fine.
Mhm. Yep.
Just make a break. I really don't, and I understand it in terms of the movies, for example.
Okay.
You have IP, you have these huge tentpole things that costs, but comics, they don't cost that
Yes.
much to make, right? So
Yes.
yeah, I
Yes.
don't
Yeah, yeah.
understand.
The only limitation is literally your imagination
Yeah,
and your
I
talent.
I really don't
Um,
understand it.
but
Anyway,
I guess
mm,
I'll just maybe to put a
yeah,
cap on that. I do sometimes wonder though if Spider-Man and Superman and Batman have taken the place of um, fairy tales and myths for in popular culture. I mean, who now really tells the stories of Zeus and Hercules and the rest of it. You know what I mean? Like that there was a common basis of mythology, I think, I don't think is necessarily the case anymore. But I think every fucking kid in the world, no matter where they are, seems to know who Batman is.
yeah. I've heard this theory before that these are the new. But the thing is, though, I mean, I think that works if you're talking about the current kind of spate of films and stuff. But those are still, I mean, as far as I can tell, largely dealing. I mean, they may take bits and pieces here,
Mhm.
but we're still dealing in the early days, the origin stories, the things that create these characters and stuff. But like you said, at this point, when something is called Batman Infinity War,
Mhm.
the
Yes.
Dark Side
Yes.
Trilogy, Part 42,
Mhm.
you know,
Yes. Yeah.
like I'm not, I don't think that's not modern myth making, right? Like you've
No.
gone way
Yes.
past.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're not qualified.
Okay.
There's a reason
No,
we
no,
don't
no.
talk about those things on here much. Number one, we're
Yes.
not that interested. Number two,
Yeah.
we're not qualified.
Yes. So Cemetery Man, then let's deal with this quick. There's two. Unless you have anything else you want to say about the comics,
No, 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 no. They're really good.
I would
Read them.
recommend them.
Yeah.
They are available for free because the hardback edition is now a long since out of print, and the only way I was able to find this was to find it at archive.org. So if
Yes.
you want to
Yes.
find it, it's up there. It's yeah, I found it very readable. I
Yeah. 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 No,
great
absolutely.
old time in the bathtub, working through these one by one.
And then when
I
you
mean, it's
came
a good
out,
idea
you
to
read the
treat them.
comic. Hey.
I would also treat them as the issues. I wouldn't try to binge this. I would treat each story,
Yes.
like 100 pages at a time, put
Yeah.
it away for a
Yeah.
day or two, come back to it
Yeah.
uh,
Agreed. Agreed.
fresh. And yeah, some truly stunning artwork, some like
Yeah.
super satisfying
Yeah.
staging of action and just fucking
Yeah.
awesome stuff.
So it
Uh,
turns out, because I hadn't seen it for a long time, I loved it back in there. It turns out Della Morte del More isn't based on Dylan Dog comics at all, really.
no, it
It's
is not.
based on what's his face, Slavi's novel Della Morte
Yes.
del More.
So apparently, the character of Francesco Della Morte originally is in Dylan Dog.
Right. And also they got Rupert Everett to play him.
Yes, further confusing
Yes.
matters.
And there is undoubtedly some Dylan Dog in there, right?
Well, a lot of people have said that it really is more Dylan Dog than it actually is the novel
Yeah,
that it.
the novel isn't available in English, so if it had been, I would have checked it out.
Yes, me too.
But
But did
what
you
I
notice
was
though?
surprised at was I loved the film back in the day.
Hmm.
I loved the look of it. I liked the go of it. I liked the Anna Fauci of it. But what I didn't kind of remember, weirdly enough, watching it again now, I totally did not remember how out there and existential
Oh
it
yes,
gets.
yes. Oh,
Um,
by the end, yeah.
and watching it this time, it was wow. This is my memory of it was kind of being a superior bit of pulp fiction towards the end of the classic
Yep,
Italian,
yep.
giallo gore horror
Hmm.
cycle, like one of maybe the last classic of
Yes, I
that.
would I would say that
That's
that's
and
fair.
nothing wrong with just being that. But
Mhm.
I totally somehow forgotten that it's more than that actually. It's like even if you're not interested in that stuff in general, I think you could still really enjoy this film because it crosses over into kind of being like an art house film
Yep.
as well, right? It's a really fascinating film, and by far it must be the best thing Michelle Suave's ever made, I think.
No question. Um,
Um,
and it's
yeah.
funny, which is the other
Is
thing
it
that I
Michelle or Mikel? I don't know.
maybe Michele, it might
Okay.
be. But it's definitely it's also funny. I mean, that's what
Yes.
I kind of remembered it being funny, but I was struck this time. I had forgotten one character entirely who I really like, who is the police chief who continually gives
Yes.
Rupert Everett's character alibis all the time. Well, it couldn't possibly have been you, even though he's standing there
Right.
covered in blood with an axe or whatever, you know.
Right.
That was funny all the way through the film, I thought.
And it looks amazing. Like the production, everything is just impeccably kind of like production designed, but it has this totally shambolic feel as well, right? Like it's
Yes,
it's 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 it's
I had forgotten the scene.
quintessentially Italian as well.
Yes,
Like no
yes,
one else could make this film.
right.
This could only be made in Italy, right? I
Mhm.
think.
It's funny
Um,
too. It reminded me as well in a weird way, and this might be because I'd never noticed before, but Rupert Everett reminds me a little bit of Paul McGann. Something about his delivery and his and specifically his kind of his voice, the timbre of his voice. And I
hmm,
started to think a little bit about With Nail and I for some reason. Something
okay.
about just the general slight gritty grottiness of
It's
the
funny you said that
look of
because
the
I
film.
was thinking kind of the same thing, but I was thinking more Richard E. Grant.
Oh, that well, yes, Richard E. Grant makes
I think it's
perfect
just got
sense.
something to do with gaunt, tall English
English
or
guys.
Irish.
Yes,
Yeah,
and who are sort of yeah, and then Rupert Everett is a very attractive man. I
yeah,
think.
yeah,
I think
yeah,
he's
yeah, yeah,
very sexy. I'm sure that's one of the
yeah.
reasons why Jen enjoyed the film one because
Right.
it's funny. One of her favorite of that whole space. She wasn't necessarily always excited about watching the next Lucio Fulci film with me, but
Mhm.
that was one I remember where she thought, and it may be that art house thing you're talking about that she
Right.
really gravitated towards. But so if Groucho, so this is the thing I didn't notice before. Did this come up when we talked to Ramsey? Is this in Ramsey's book? Because once I realized,
What, the
hang
Three
on,
Stooges book?
yeah, because once I realized that, okay, so Dylan Dog's sidekick is Groucho, his sidekick is clearly fucking Curly. He actually says "nya" all the time, right? He's wearing the suit, the ill-fitting kind of like, he's a lot of flopping around on the ground like this. There's a lot of Curly in whatever the hell his name is, Nagy or Nyagi or whatever the hell that character's name is.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I would peg him as a Curly surrogate. Curly's a bit more on the ball and cerebral than the
Right. Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah,
City of
sure.
Lost Children. He's from City of Lost Children, right?
Oh, is he that,
Yeah, I
that
think so.
actor?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. Um,
Oh, I'm still seeing this thing. I'd like to see more of
yeah,
Slavi's work. Is there
I'm not
is
going to
there
say you're
always
wrong. It's what you bring to it, right?
right?
But I wouldn't. Yeah, not that's not how I read it. But no, fuck! What a fantastic film Del Amore is. Like,
Mm,
I'm
yeah.
glad to be reminded. And of course, there's now a fantastic looking Severin Blu-ray as well, right? No, no, absolutely deserving. Because I feel as if is one of those films like obviously it was a huge thing for horror fans back in the day. Almost as soon as it was new, it was an
Yes, I
immediate.
remember. I remember it coming out and
Yeah,
being like,
but
okay,
I think it's definitely deserving of a wider, like a people who might not necessarily always be interested in that stuff would enjoy this film. I think
yeah,
it's it's funny, it's sexy, it's playful, it's existential, it's like really dark. Like
yes,
some of the things that happen in it are just kind of outrageous. There's no like all the characters are fucked. Like there's no
yes,
one really sympathetic. No one at
yeah.
all. It's such a good. I was really impressed by
I
it.
had forgotten how grim the last act is
Yeah.
actually like, and then again, also that stuff we talked about in the comics, that very strong dream-like quality really comes through
Oh
in the film.
yeah.
It's like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, this I can see the connective tissue between Dylan Dog and this
Yeah.
in all that stuff. Um,
Plus,
hmm.
it has a visual reference to Psychomania
Oh, where?
because it's the guy riding out of the grave on his
Oh, of
motorcycle, right?
course. Yes, yes, yes. Also, unfortunately for you, a visual reference to the front cover of Bad to Hell by Meatloaf. Um, but
Yeah.
and
No.
that's the
Yeah.
director
They
too.
didn't mean that.
Isn't that
You're
the
wrong.
director? So yes, but I think that is the director. That's Suave in the helmet.
All right. Okay. Yeah. He
Um,
does. He does like dressing up. He's
does.
the half mask demon's
Yes, in
ticket
Demons.
vendor, right? Yeah.
Um, but fuck, there was one other thing I wanted to say about it before we
Well,
moved on.
before we do get kicked off here, because I do have to go very soon as well. I mean, you'll find 100 other people telling you this, but it's not true until we say it. So it's
Yes. Yeah.
important that we say it.
Mhm.
The official Dylan Dog film is shite.
Yes, yes. I mean, I think we should just consider Cemetery Man to be the official Dylan Dog film.
Even though it's already a Dylan Dog
No, it's
film.
not
But
exactly, but it
no,
might as well be because
just
you will.
watch Dylan Murray because it's really good, and don't watch Dylan Dog Dead of Night because it's shit. Like I didn't even finish it. I don't think I even made it halfway through. There's a certain type of film which is,
Yep,
within seconds you're gonna hate it.
yep, yep,
Just tonally, it's the voiceover. I'm not
yep.
having a go necessarily at Brandon Ruth, even though he is
No,
badly miscast, but
he is.
he's
He's
tip
trying.
of the iceberg of what's wrong with it. Yeah, it's just
Oh,
and it's slick, it's well made. There's nothing you can't point out to. It's just from the beginning. It's as if it's someone doesn't understand what's good about the comic at
at
all,
all.
right?
No. What they wanted to do was do some sort of Buffy the Vampire Slayer meets Constantine
Yeah,
thing, and just use the Dylan Dog name to
yeah.
go and do that. And that's all it is. And
Which
it's
would
not
be fine if it was
it was a
good
good,
as that, but
and
it's
it's
not
not.
good as that
Not
either.
at all.
It's shit
There's
Dylan
one good
Dog and it's
performance.
shit whatever else it
Yep.
is.
There's one good performance, and that's Peter Stormare or whatever, and he's always good. He
Yeah, he's
plays,
just doing what Peter Stormare
yeah,
does.
yeah, always does, but he's good at
Um,
least. He's good at doing that.
Peter Stormare, who Ron has spotted at Hello Kitty Land or something before in the past, right? I think
Nice.
because he's isn't his wife Japanese with kids or something.
Oh,
But yeah, apparently Peter Stormare comes here quite often,
okay.
and he has been
I
spotted at Hello Kitty Land,
always
or one of
always like
those, yeah, one of
some,
those theme parks. Yeah.
but yeah, but he's not. He's only in the movie for like 10 minutes, and he's definitely not worth sitting through the rest of it. No, it's really shit, and it reminded me of the like, when we do our like 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 mainland Chinese cinema. It had that same slickness and lack of anything like interesting for me. Like that kind of that feeling of just like I don't give a shit about any of this. This is just This is like a millimeter wide or deep. There's nothing to this.
Right.
It
Yeah, no,
sucked.
stay
Holy
well,
shit.
well. I mean, I'd heard it was terrible, but I thought, there's got to be something. It's Dylan Dog. There's got to be something. Especially after reading the comics, I thought there's got to be something. But no, it's just. Did you actually make it to the end?
I did, yeah, yeah. I don't know
Wow.
why. I watched it over a couple of nights. I did it in 20 minute to like re reduce
Right.
the pain. I did it in 20-minute installments. But yeah, it gets worse as it goes. It
Yeah.
doesn't get
No, I decided I actually like myself more than I thought, and
good
I'm
for
not
you,
going to
Clive.
put myself through it.
You.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have Groucho or Curly in it. It has some sort of Jimmy Olsen newsy boy sidekick who is doing his best to be as annoying as Rob Schneider fucking Will Ferrell.
In the
Um,
words of Harry Enfield's Yorkshireman character, I've got two words for that: shite and shite.
yes. Yes.